Ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we are talking about the penultimate episode of The Purge right here on The Purge After Show. Will Tommy be set free? Will Turner come over to the dark side? We're going to be answering all this and more, so stick around.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
It's almost done, y'all. You know what that siren means.
Oh, no.
Gets to me every time.
We're only going to be hearing it 2 more times until the end of this purge. Guys, you know what it is. We're back with another installment of the Purge After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV. My name is Ty Matthews. Joining me, as always, some of my absolute favorite hosts on the planet right here to my left. You can find her talking about My Hero Academia. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Jamie Gray.
Hi, I missed you guys.
Missed you too.
Yeah.
It's the panel's kind of been in a state of flux this season, but we keep it trucking because we watch each other's backs. To Jamie's left, you can find him also talking about My Hero Academia as well as Total Divas. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to be back later on with Purge or Purify. This is Ollie Drennan.
Yes, my voice was purged last week, so I'm happy to be back along with Jamie.
I must have caught it.
We missed you guys. Yeah.
We were glad that you were that you were holding down the live chat.
Yes.
You know, we appreciate that. Danny Royce is not with us this week, but in his stead, I will be back a little bit later in the episode with just a tiny little tidbit of news for all y'all purgers out there.
Yes.
But for now, let's talk about Season 2, Episode 9, Hail Mary.
Whew.
What'd you guys think of this episode?
Crazy episode. I was so sad that I missed last week. Last week's episode was lots of shockers, lots of bombs thrown. This episode between Ben's crazy ass. I mean, it's like each episode, but the fact that he was like forcing, it was just crazy. And then with Ryan and Esme, finally, it's getting exciting with them.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just so exciting, especially with Tommy. And then with Marcus, that whole situation was just wild. So I think that they really drew us in to where I was just so excited. I was like, commercials, hurry up. So
Right, exactly.
Great episode overall.
That siren has sounded, so the tension keeps getting ramped up. Ollie, what'd
Oh
you
my
think?
gosh, I was on the edge of my seat.
Right?
There a particular part which we'll talk about, but I have to say this. I think I might have already said this, but I think The Purge works so much better as a TV show. Like, the movies are amazing.
Interesting,
but
yeah.
I love it personally. I just love what the show brings. There's something new. It's fresh. That every single episode is just different and keeps you with that the pacing is so great, the tension, and this episode did not disappoint, and I'm ready to talk about it.
Right, absolutely. Let's start off with what is quickly becoming one of my favorite parts of this season is another banger of a cold open.
Yes.
Let's talk about Ms. Lorelei's Corner, this like demented kid show about the Purge. For all my wrestling fans out there, it reminded me a little bit of Firefly Funhouse, a little bit of Bray Wyatt, you know?
Yes.
It's we didn't realize it at first. At least I didn't realize it at first. But it's little Ben that's watching this children's show all about the Purge and all the good that the Purge does.
Well, I thought it was wild. Yeah, I didn't realize that it was him at first. I was like, all right, so it's just this kid's show. The fact that this lady, I mean, just the creepy smile, and she's saying that this is how adults cope with their feelings and their emotions, and they get it all out. And it's like, already, if it's taught at a young age, of course they're going to think it's normal as they get older. So, crazy.
This is how we're brainwashing our youth.
Exactly.
With horrible children's programming, such as Dora the Explorer. No, but as soon as she opened her mouth talking about the Purge, no, I was not here for it, but I loved, because I didn't think, like you guys, I didn't think it connected to present day.
Right.
But I love that they connected it in the transition into Ben nowadays and how he's seeing the Purge.
Yeah.
And how he's totally for it. So it was really probably my favorite opening thus far, even though it creeped me the hell out.
I think so. Yeah, we've gotten a lot of really good ones, especially in these last few episodes. But yeah, if the NFFA is going to do anything, it's going to be they're going to start them young. You know, they're going to instill that into kids' brains from a very young age.
Like Santa, where they'll actually believe that this is real and this is what you should do. But also, when we did notice that it was Ben and the mom came in, we've seen even commenters have commented on our videos saying that the mom has been aware of Ben and, you know, just his overall character. She knows her son.
Sure.
She knew. So I just feel like she has an inkling.
Right. What do you think, Ollie?
No,
Do you
like I
think-
like that you bring that up. 'cause
Sure,
she gave
that's a
me-
very interesting
She
point.
gave me weird vibes. That one moment when, remember when our girl Kellen was still alive?
Oh.
She's like,
Exactly.
he's gonna
Pouring
take
out
you
for
to the
Kellen.
airport or whatever.
It's like, you know your son is crazy.
Something's up with Mama.
do.
Something's up with
She
Mama
knew.
Ben. I'm telling you.
So speaking of Ben, let's start out with Ben and Turner. Ben kind of trying to show Turner the light or the dark, as it were. You know how purging can really change someone. Yeah, what'd you guys
I
think?
think this storyline definitely reflects how the government is just trying to exert its pressure over people, trying to gain the trust of the public in order to purge. I feel like Ben is enacting what the government, what the NFFA wants to do on the regular people, even though Turner is so affected negatively by the purge and like the loss of his brother. And it's just kind of like really difficult to see and watch, especially knowing, you know, even though Turner did kind of leave our boy stranded last year, but I can't help but to feel bad and how Ben is just done a 180, or maybe he's not done a 180. Maybe he's actually just like been like this the whole time. He just finally snapped last year.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it's just been very hard to watch, kind of like the torture that Turner's been on. in the
God,
episode.
Yeah.
and yeah. Speaking of which, that scene where he duct tapes a machete to Turner's hands.
Oh my god.
And just plunges it right into poor Scott's torso.
It's either
Man, it was just very cringeworthy because sometimes when I see gory scenes like that, another gory scene, like something that I have to close my eyes, is that scene in Scarface with the,
Sure.
with the chainsaw. And so that's where I had to do. You saw me, I was just like, oh God. It was hard to watch.
Yeah.
Ben is just a different type of crazy. And I think that Turner realized that there's levels to crazy, and he just was not on the level that Ben was at. He's been wanting to do this since he was like 5. So I think, you know, it's just he's so excited that he wants other people to do it. And I think almost he wanted to spare Turner because he wanted him to almost have the torture of knowing what it's like to purge.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like it was just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of weird like moment of like bonding that it felt like that Ben felt like they had, you know, washing their hands, having it, you know, stay hydrated. You got to stay sharp. You
Because
know,
he thinks that Turner's gonna all of a sudden turn exactly like the way he did when he finally purged, and it's not that simple.
no,
And
yeah,
it's also like his replacement for his friend that he killed in the dorm room.
Right.
Because his friend was very excited about him purging, but he didn't know all about Ben until it was too
oh,
late.
Andy,
But-
poor Andy,
Yeah,
pouring out for
poor
Andy,
So,
Andy Tran.
you know, I think that in a case he wanted to replace him because Ben doesn't have anyone that's close to him that he can, you know, he wants someone that he can bond with. And I think purging is the only way he knows how to bond.
Right, exactly. I feel like if there was anything that could have had even the slightest chance of maybe making Ben come around, it might have been Kellen, and we all saw how that turned
man.
out. Oh man. So let's see. So while Ben is distracted, Turner kind of slips out while he's looking the other way, starts to escape through one of New Orleans' famous cemeteries, you know, and we get that awesome kind of chase sequence.
Yes. Oh, I was so happy. Okay, and Ollie, this is where I agree with you as well because I hated Turner, and I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I felt bad for him in this episode where I was like, I just need you to escape Ben and his craziness. Don't be like Helen. But I was very happy that he did escape, just because I'm hoping something else better happens with that. But I thought it was very ironic that Ben is about to be purged, quote, quote, from these other, I guess you could say, fans
Right, yeah.
of his
other gods.
image.
Yeah, exactly.
The other
gods.
gods. And I just thought that was hella ironic.
Yeah.
They were not gods, they were frauds. But
The other campus killers.
It's funny because metaphorically speaking, I'm all thinking like abstract and whatnot.
Sure.
It was almost as if he was almost being purged by himself. Like he's
Right.
going way too far.
Ooh, I like
all
that.
the other gods are coming for him, and he's realizing that this is not what the purge is all. The purge is not what it's all cracked up to be.
False
Right.
gods.
I like
Kind
that
of.
symbolism. So much symbolism
Yes.
going on. I am here for
And
it.
he kind of choked a little bit. He was like, "No,
Oh, yeah,
we're
yeah.
together." No,
Right,
like, this
exactly.
is not what you think.
I'm
it
just
is.
like you.
Exactly.
I'll talk about that in a little bit. One other thing, kind of going back just a couple minutes, when Turner escaped, he gets these kind of spotlights shown on him by this like Purge party bus.
Yeah.
This bus that says Purge Night Tours, and I love one of the themes that I feel like this season has been exploring is the Purge as like a destination event, you know, like something akin to like Carnival or Mardi Gras, something that people come from all corners of the world to see and experience. And so, of course, there's going to be like night tours and people that can just be tourists and watch people die.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the new Coachella, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? They're like, where do you want to go? Purge LA or Purge New York City?
Exactly. That's what it reminded me of. That cold open, it might have been either last week or the week before where we got that fashion montage.
Yeah.
That reminded me of like, you know, like people putting together their ensembles for Coachella. And like,
exactly.
All right, let me see what Insta thinks about this, you know?
No, totally.
But yeah, one of the things that I thought, and I don't think this is getting too into prediction territory because I do have thoughts about that that we'll get to, but one of the things that I thought when all of these different kind of copycat campus killers came out targeting Ben is that to them, and this is all just conjecture, but to them, he's not a purger, he's a killer. And in this world, that's a fundamental difference, you know? People that purge, I think, look down on people that kill on off-purge nights.
Right.
Obviously, it's all the same, but it's that weird, warped mentality.
Yeah.
Like, no, I do it when it's legal. You're just a serial killer.
Right.
Right.
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
Whereas he thinks completely differently. It's like a kill is a kill. Or
To him,
a
purge is a purge. Exactly, exactly right.
I didn't think of that. That's such a good point.
So yeah, we'll get to that. I've got some thoughts about that that we'll get to. Let's talk about Marcus and Michele and their kind of their showdown with Clint and his twisted neighborhood watch, as it were.
Right.
What'd you guys think? Talk about tension in this part of the episode.
Well, and it's crazy because I didn't even think that they would get cold feet because they just seemed like they had so much hate towards Marcus and the family. But it's like, of course they're going to get cold feet. I love that we see Sam, you know, so we put a face to the name. We know exactly how he feels. I thought it was crazy, you know, especially when they used the truck just to pull the door off. I was like, it's about to go down.
Right.
Something's about to happen. But I also loved that Marcus and his ex-wife did come to help him out. And I had theories about it at first, but now I feel like it's completely not true anymore.
Right.
I'll tell you what I thought it was. I thought that Michele was going to be the one to still look out for.
Okay.
Because maybe she also would have been in on the whole neighborhood thing. I don't know.
No, I was right there with you for sure.
I was like, I still don't trust her. But now that she's gotten stabbed in the clavicle, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what to think anymore.
I don't know. The episode, we still got one more episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's anyone's guess.
The Purge.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
If we learned anything from Scream, it's that people will take some shots just to prove a point. So yeah, it seemed like Clint had sort of brainwashed everyone, and when they saw what happened to Sam and they saw, you know, everything, like, that's when they started to realize, like, okay, maybe we don't have such a grudge against Marcus for killing, not even killing, but not saving this one person.
These flip-flopping ass neighbors.
Yeah.
Like, what side
Choose
are you
one.
on? Clearly, I feel like they're not purgers. Like, they're not killers.
No,
And I feel like
How did y'all get caught up in this?
a lot of people are trying to emulate the Purge, and really, they're just not. It's not for everyone.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be for everyone.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be a thing.
Right. Everything that played out in this subplot and in this neighborhood reminded me of the original Purge film where, you know, down to the truck pulling the door off the hinges. And, you know, at the end of that film, you get these neighbors that are like, yeah, they're out for blood, but they're clearly amateurs. Like, they don't know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
Lena Headey.
Exactly.
Slam the lady on the table.
Right,
Broke her nose.
right.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
We've got more to, we'll talk about that more a little bit later on. I thought that Sam was a goner when that security door came
Me
down.
too.
I thought that head was coming clean off.
That gash, especially if that was a woman, I would have been gone. Oh my God, I can't even.
Yeah. Because, that was...
I thought that in my
The cushion?
literally. I think a little bit of like bust open.
Dang.
Yeah,
God.
you would think, if it was like a smaller person, you got to think cracked sternum, something like that. Who knows, you know?
I'm gone.
But Marcus, being the virtuous man that he is, stitches Sam up in an act of good faith, offers him as a peace offering in exchange for Clint,
Right.
to try and talk things out, to try and get them back to a clean slate.
Right.
You know,
What a nice guy.
Because
Too
he's
nice.
apparently, well, he is the head of this whole thing. This is why everyone's coming after them. But I have a question. I completely forgot. Where's the son? Where's Darren?
Darren.
Do we know?
I don't know if we know, but I will get to that in predictions.
Okay.
The last I just
wasn't sure if
I
I
will
missed
say
that.
the last that we had heard of Darren, Marcus was taking him to the hospital
Right.
after he broke his arm.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
Last
Right.
week. Wait, was that last week or was
Yeah,
it 2
last
weeks?
week.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
broke
so.
his arm
Yeah.
last week, yep.
Oh
right.
man, that scene! I'm
was
still cringing
crazy.
over that.
Gotcha.
Yikes!
Oh my gosh.
But of course, we get this moment of Clint realizing that, purging isn't going to do any good. It's not going to bring anyone back. But of course we can't trust him.
Right. I already knew. This was where I felt the most tension personally, because I was thinking, this is too good to be true.
Exactly.
Sure.
It's too quiet. We keep going over to Michele. She's not saying anything. I don't trust Clint for a second. He has a vendetta regardless, and he shot his shot.
Yep.
Literally.
Michele.
As soon as he
Spanish
could.
shot.
And I like how he was like, hey, look.
Yeah.
He just stabbed her. They're all like, I want you to see me do this. Ben does it. Clint does it.
It's just an eye for an eye.
Exactly. Yeah. If you don't have an audience, did you really purge? That's what the season's really
Speaking of
asking.
audience, Tanya, what were we all doing? What were you watching, Clint? We had a whole man and a whole woman who he doesn't know. The whole point was for you to protect us. Get on your job.
Oh
Man.
my god. Good point.
Just saying.
But yeah, so Marcus talks about getting Michele to triage, and he has that speech that he gives to the neighborhood. You want to purge me? I love that whole sequence.
So I was almost like, what is he gonna say?
Right.
They're not on your side, but it makes sense. He spared 2 lives. You might as well let me go.
Yeah, they knew that Clint was.
Y'all not ready for this.
No, So he's able to drive off. He's able to take Michele to triage, and the neighborhood kind of turns on Clint.
Yeah. But
Thank God.
what did he say? He said this isn't over.
He said this isn't over.
But they are like, yes, it is.
They said yes, it is. I thought they were just gonna be done with him
I thought they
and
were gonna-
just take him out. That's what I
I was
thought.
hoping they would.
For
I
sure.
was just hoping that. I'm like, Marcus, why wouldn't you just have him shot after he stabbed Michele? That's your
Right.
wife. That was your chance.
Right.
Yeah.
He's too nice. And honestly, I'll save it for predictions actually.
We just want to get this.
Yeah, I'll
but
save it.
I think no, I agree. It's he could have just taken it out right there and then.
Sure.
But I feel like he didn't just to prove the point. You can't purge
That's
me
the
in
thing.
order
He's,
to get out.
That's
neighborhood.
lawful good. That's
guys are
what he
such good
is.
people.
Lawful good. He
Purge.
He can't take a life. So let's switch gears. Let's talk about Esme. As the NFFA is kind of targeting her, and she goes and visits the foundation. Sky and the foundation. I love this whole scene, all of the colors, all of the
Yes.
different things that we saw. What did you guys think of this?
I wish she stayed there.
I know, right?
I just don't know why she left, but I thought it was really cool to see. Also, just see the women there. It's yes, sisterhood, just do this.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I thought it was dope how they kind of had this hologram of her, but I almost felt like it was too good. The fact that she was looking right at the camera, I'm like,
Right.
aren't they just gonna pick up on this? But overall, I thought it was dope. It sucks what happened.
I was wondering about that. I was wondering if this deep fake technology in the world of the Purge is so advanced that the NFFA might have ways of
Yeah.
detecting it,
Like they would.
right?
Sensors.
You would think there's something that would give it away,
Yeah.
like some little. But I don't know. Maybe it's that advanced that they can just. She talks about
New
seeing.
wave.
She talks about seeing Tupac on tour
Right.
the year before. So, we're not that far. We're not that far off. But oh my God, so I think it's Sky and Esme are out on the road, and we get that wild van flip because that
Wow.
one purger's looking to collect that $500,000 on Esme's head.
Goodness gracious. Should have stayed, like Jamie said.
Right, like, come on, guys.
Right.
But it was cool despite like everything. Their whole kind of group reminded me of kind of like the Ronda Rousey's from last season. The group of women. Ronda
Hilarious.
Rousey's. How they were just so together in arms and like looking out for each other, especially since Esme's kind of on this witch hunt. Like everyone's like out to get this woman.
Right.
They're like are relentless. It's kind of crazy to kind of see how far they will go to track this woman down. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see her be supported by all these other women.
Right.
But clearly it didn't work out.
And she's on a mission to make it to the NFFA's headquarters. You know, she's on a mission to do whatever it is she wants to do. I don't know. Do we know what her end game is at the NFFA headquarters?
I personally didn't catch anything, but obviously it relates towards Ryan in the group, right?
Right. So
and where's the plane? Are we still doing the plane thing, or is that?
I think that got nixed when Ziv got killed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now all of the money is with the Jackals in the armored trucks.
Okay.
That's what they have to get back.
Right.
You know,
Gotcha.
which we'll get to once we talk about that. But so Esme, she triggers this. I don't know if it's an EMP, something like that. Knocks out all the power. Triggers a 60-second reboot. At which point she's able to kind of slip in just in the nick of time.
Yes.
Lock that purger out. Deny him his $500,000 bounty.
I was definitely getting. Well, first of all, I want to shout out the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. We see you, Cassandra. He's snagging. Julie Bryson. Julie brought up this point. Too many of the characters are alive.
Ooh.
And it's on episode 9, which is so true. Last season, a lot of characters died. I know, not predicting anything right now, but I was definitely getting more kind of on the edge of my seat in this episode because we're seeing the streets and how brutal it is. You know, we're seeing all these. I think I saw a dead kid at one point too.
Oh.
But I don't know if you maybe it was
Could be. I don't know.
Teenager, whatever. But people were getting beat on the streets, and I'm like, this is the purge. So I was definitely a little worried for Esme because I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing, with this season, we saw that it was all brand new characters. So we don't know yet if the Purge will be back for a season 3. Right. But if it is, it could be a completely new city, could be completely new characters. All that is to say, nobody's safe in the finale.
Yeah.
Nobody, all bets are off. Once again, it's like Scream. In the final installment, all bets are off. Nobody's safe.
Because, there's no main character.
Exactly.
Everyone's kind of like on the equal playing field.
Yeah.
And I thought Ben was a goner for at least a second. I was like, finally.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
They're going to jump him, but...
Too soon.
Right.
Something else jumped him.
Yeah. So the last we see of Esme, she's climbing this ladder. She's going up, presumably to that floor where Vivian is, where I think Curtis is, where everyone else is, and she'll do whatever it is she has to do, But for now, at least she's relatively safe-ish in the confines of the NFFA.
Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah,
alive.
But yeah, Ollie, as you said, thank you to everyone that's in the chat, that's listening on iTunes, watching on YouTube. We love talking about the show. Hit us up. We've only got one episode left after this, but we want to keep talking about it. Let's talk about Ryan's plan to break Tommy out off of that prison bus. He and Doug, the rest of the gang, they're posing as donors at this Purge auction, which is that's one constant that I feel like we've seen throughout the Purge series is this idea of rich people bidding on the lower class and bidding on prisoners and criminals in order to have the chance to purge them safely.
Right. Can't this money at least go to some kind of charity other than the NFFA? Maybe I'd be more okay with it. Right. But it needs to support, maybe the homeless shelters, Planned Parenthood, maybe the LGBT center. I don't know, but can it go to a good cause? Come on, I'm sure the NFFA have plenty of money. I'm just saying. I just had to throw that out there.
Hashtag
just saying.
Purge for a cause.
Absolutely.
Get it trending.
Thank you. When's that episode coming?
Exactly.
Watch season 3. There's gonna be.
So we did see in the boardroom how they were coming up with that LGBT friendly mask.
That's true.
So we've got they're at City Park. At the west entrance is the prison bus. All these prisoners are getting disembarked, and they basically just get told, "All right, run. This is your head start." Meanwhile, at the east, at the east entrance, Ryan and the gang are posing as donors, handing in their fancy automatic weapons for like the weapons of their ancestors, as the auctioneer put it.
Right.
Craziness.
You know,
It's just so messed up.
Right, and it also makes me think of how I wonder, because I feel like in our universe, our world, the prison system is really screwed up, and I feel like it's so overcrowded and overpopulated and very, very questionable.
Sure.
So I wonder how in this world it would be interesting to explore it even more.
Right.
Because I wonder if it is like almost not empty. You know, like I wonder
Exactly.
how the prisons are. Are they overcrowded, or is no one in prison?
I think, and that's the thing. I think that in this world and within the philosophy of the NFFA, that's one of the things that has led to these draconian laws of like, you know, Tommy being caught by one toe and being sentenced to death. Right. You know, you got to think death sentences are wildly common in this world.
It's so crazy because also, you know, everything's always getting covered up by the NFFA. So how much crime is actually going on? How many people are in jail, are locked up? So...
And
I don't believe anything anymore.
And that's probably one of the things that they use in their propaganda, you know, whether it's on TV or in pamphlets or what have you, to get people to vote to keep these things in.
How much crime is going on
in place?
I don't know.
You know, they might be saying like, look, prison overcrowding is at its worst. This way, you know, we can free up room, we can free up money.
Yeah.
You know, that could be spent on roads, on schools, you know, things like that. They're always going to frame it. You know, that's one of the things I've always loved is that history and fiction's greatest villains have thought that they were the heroes. So, of course, they're going to frame it as like, no, this is all for the greater good.
Right.
See, we still have so many questions, so give us that season 3.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
If we're still asking all these questions about the universe
Might
of
as
the
well.
Purge,
Right.
season 3.
That's the thing. Yeah, we know that the Purge 5 will be the final film, but will the TV series go on?
Live on.
Who knows? Yeah. But now we meet. We're reintroduced to Silas, the man that Ryan and the gang kind of they broke into his house,
Right.
and he is not happy when he sees them pop up at the auction. You know, he's there with his brother Paul, who, you know, it seems like they're pretty well hell bent on Ryan not making it through Purge Night. But you know, when Tommy comes to the rescue, shoots Paul in the head. Ryan gets tranked, you know, and thrown into this shallow grave. I mean, all of this was like, it was so tense, and just that the visual of seeing someone getting buried alive.
Gave me that Kill Bill vibe
Right.
a little bit.
And it's so ironic that his friends find him just in time. But I was like, thank God they did.
Right.
Right. Good for them. Good for them.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah, it could be, you know, 2 minutes later, and he could be buried under enough dirt that they would have no idea where he was.
Exactly.
You know, but, you know, Tommy comes to the rescue, gets Ryan out of that grave. Or no, sorry. I got this backwards.
Oh, no worries. Go.
Ryan kills Paul, then Tommy kills Silas.
Right.
That's what it is.
And he was pissed because he killed his brother in vain. Like there was,
He died
you know,
for nothing. Yeah, because Ryan just chalks up the auction night to just bad luck. You know,
really?
and of course, yeah, that's the last thing you want to hear when your brother just got killed.
You know, sometimes you can't have a good holiday. Sometimes there's crappy holidays.
You know, they can't all be zingers.
Right.
You know, sometimes they're just bad purges.
Sometimes your expectations are way too high. Like, calm down.
Right,
Calm down.
exactly. So Tommy kills Silas just in time, saves Ryan. Ryan says they still have work to do because they got to get that money.
I was like, guys, just let Tommy go home. Something
Right.
like.
Because Tommy wanted to get Ryan out of the country, but Ryan is committed to getting the score. So we're gonna have a face-off between that gang and the Jackals.
Yeah.
You know?
It was a breath of fresh air to see Tommy secure for now.
For
I
now.
didn't make him out,
Cool.
make it out
He's
alive.
he's been locked up all this whole damn time over an inch.
Right.
You know, so I was like, oh, it's so nice to see Tommy reunited with his buds.
Exactly.
For now.
Exactly. So that's everything that happened in season 2, episode 9, Hail Mary. A whole lot going into the finale. But that's not it. As you know, if you've been joining us all season long, we got a whole lot more to talk about. So you know what? Let's like we said, Danny Royce is not with us this week, but your boy got you. So I've got a little bit of Purge news for you.
Woo.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Thank you very, very much. Ryan, our producer extraordinaire on the ones and twos, ladies and gentlemen. He's been holding it down this whole season. But let's talk a little bit of news. You may have seen it in the segment at the end of this episode during the credits in the Next On segment. But as we've seen and as has been announced in multiple news outlets, Ethan Hawke will be returning for the Purge season 2 finale.
Wow.
Purge fans will remember Ethan Hawke as James Sandin from the original Purge film back in 2013. He was the one that designed Sandin security systems. Spoiler alert, if you somehow haven't seen the original Purge film and you've made it this far into the Purge series, James Sandin does not make it through that movie.
Wait, he's reprising his role too.
Yeah. So he will be. That's good. Yeah, he'll be back as James Sandin, presumably in some sort of flashback, some sort of archival footage, something like that. But I imagine we'll see something that sets up the origins of the Purge,
like the opening, maybe.
Exactly. A little bit more than the first Purge, the movie that came out last year.
That's so cool.
So yeah,
that's official too.
Exactly, yeah, that's official. That's been reported by multiple news outlets. We see some cell phone footage of him from the episode. So yes, that makes me very, very happy because one thing that I've always wanted this whole time is more shared continuity between the films and the TV show. So it'll be awesome to see James Sandin kind of crossing over into this part of the Purge world.
Yeah, because at first I was thinking, oh wait, is this series before?
Yeah, I didn't know.
Right, exactly.
But that makes a lot more sense for saying that it's a flashback.
Yeah, really, and I haven't done all the work. I'm sure that there's a concrete answer as far as where this happens. All we know is that this show takes place between the first Purge and the Purge election year. That's kind of like the span of time that we're working with. Since election year, the Purge kind of gets abolished. So this is the framework that we're working with. Gotcha. So that'll be cool. Tune in next week for the finale to see some Ethan Hawke. But another thing that we've got for you that has been one of my favorite parts of the show this whole season, ladies and gentlemen, back with another edition of Purge or Purify, Ollie Drennan.
Yes.
Emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of the annual Purge, sanctioned by the U.S. government.
God, those sound effects, so good.
I love them. I'm going to miss them. One more episode, guys. But you got to tune in right now because we're ready for Purge or Purify. You already know you already know. Jamie knows. She's ready. You already know what this segment is. Basically, in this episode 9, season 2 of The Purge, would you purge or purify a particular character, a plot point, or some kind of theme? Which would you do? Purge or purify that in this episode? Shall I go first?
Please do.
Go for it.
All
By all
right,
means.
get it ready. And if you're joining us live in the chat, let us know. Or if you're listening later, let us know in the comments. So I think I would have to purify. Okay, I'm going to say this. I'm going to purify Turner.
Okay.
Wow.
I was going to say something else. I was going to purify Michele, but I'll save it for predictions. I'm going to purify Turner just because he's been through a lot. I know, in a way, you can't blame him almost for leaving Ben. I mean, Ben's a serial killer now, okay?
Right.
So I don't even blame Turner looking back at this point. Turner couldn't do anything.
And that's,
in that position.
That's a great
His
point.
friend gets sliced. Ugh.
I said what I said, okay? He's innocent. He's never purged anyone. So I just want to purify him because he's just a sad boy. And I have a soft spot for sad boys. I don't know. What do you guys think?
That's fair.
I mean, he did purge, so he's no longer innocent. He could have used some sort of force.
That was
He could have
Ben's.
gone for a leg, and he just let him because he was so scared. Hit him in the head as he's above you. Elbow. Something.
Though that's why I'll purify him then, so he will be innocent. Okay.
Jamie, what do you think?
I would have purged Ben.
Yeah. There you go.
All the way.
fair. That's
Okay,
fair.
like there were so many moments where they could have, and I was hoping, I forget the other friend's name, but who was on the couch last episode while Turner and Ben were upstairs running away. I'm like, that could have been your chance, even though you would have been around all those other purgers, hide in a bush for 7 hours.
Gotta get a bush.
And go to sleep.
Well, I think his feet may have been tied together.
Hop
You
out.
can still hop out.
Hop out. Take your
dead.
hands on the doorknob. Turn it, because you see them running upstairs. You know, he could have done it. Anyway,
Sure.
But I also would have purged Clint. I would have done them all a favor. He could have been with his wife that he misses so much, so he could have purged her.
Reunited.
Oh,
Heaven or
man.
And then just had to go.
Right.
Hit him with the car and go. It's Purge Night. Congrats.
Right.
Like, that's what you're supposed to do.
There
One
you go.
down.
I think I would purge Miss Lorelai from the cold open,
Yeah.
or whoever put that show together,
As soon as
because
she clocks out.
exactly, that's what's really ingraining the purge ethos into the minds of America's youth.
I didn't even think about her.
Yeah.
Or the writers, someone
of that TV
who was
show.
ever responsible for that one.
Right, exactly.
That was
Oh,
good.
man.
Good. I love
Yeah.
this.
Absolutely.
This is why I love
Love this segment. Guys, remember, hit us up on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, on iTunes. Tell us who you'd purge and or purify. You can do both. The rules are flexible, just like the purge. But finally, we've been talking about it all episode. It's one of our favorite parts of every episode. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into some predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
I missed the long predictions drop.
Yeah, with that.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
It's very like.
Oh, thank you,
Galactic.
Ryan. I was going to be so
Right.
sad.
It's like Alien. I love it.
I was going to be so sad if we went this whole season without hearing that sweet
Yeah.
theremin. We have got a whole lot to talk about as far as predictions. Who's going to go first? Who's got...
I'll just knock one out because I feel like we
Please.
all have different ones. But I think that because Clint was like the head honcho in this as far as the neighborhood, he probably had his own prediction that the neighbors could turn their back on him. So what if he has revenge for all of them?
Interesting. I did forget, real quick, before we get into the rest of predictions, I did forget that as Marcus is taking Michele to triage, he accidentally hits Ben.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, and we've been calling it this whole time that there would be something that ties everyone together,
Yeah.
and this is it. So he, not knowing that Ben is the campus killer that's been all over the news,
Right.
takes him in. We'll get you to triage. We'll get you all fixed up, buddy.
Like, come on now.
Right, exactly.
Somebody else will do that. Or like you could have put him on the side,
Right.
hide him, and then you got the other fake gods coming to. Like, come on.
Right. Okay, so back to predictions. So Jamie, you had one. Ollie, what do you think?
I think I said earlier, someone in the chat, Julie said that there's no one dead. No
Right.
one's dead except for a bunch of minor characters. So I definitely think, I'm predicting it now, I think, we might get a new cast if we get another season. So I think it's might be a bloodbath next week.
Ooh,
I
could
think,
be.
I think Ryan's team is in trouble. I think Ryan and Esme I feel like they're safe.
Probably, yeah.
I think
they're
Michelle's
probably
fine.
as safe as you can be.
Ben, he's gone.
Gotta be.
Ben's gone. And lastly, I think Marcus might make the ultimate sacrifice because he did the whole thing with a Clint's wife dying. I think maybe like he'll sacrifice himself and maybe his death might right her wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, who
I don't know.
knows?
Even though he did right his wrong in a sense of not killing Clint or Sam.
Right.
I don't know. I think he might sacrifice himself or something.
Sure.
To save other people.
And I feel like that stab one that Michelle had was not that bad. Like, honestly.
She walked out of the house.
You could have put, exactly. She was walking fine. You could have put some duct tape over her wound, wait 10 more hours, and sleep it off. But like, literally, like, y'all have to leave.
Oh,
I don't get it.
in
man.
the safety of your home, man.
Purge.
That was-
Jeez.
No
her
purify.
lung was apparently collapsing.
Yeah, I was collapsing.
Really?
Yeah, Marcus
Okay.
knows. He would know. Here's what I thought. When all of those copycat campus killers were coming out of the woodwork in the cemetery, all you circling around Ben, I don't know what it is, but I guess the lead one, the one that we saw first, for some reason, it reminded me a lot of how Darren moves.
Oh
That's,
my God.
I don't know. I don't know if maybe Marcus dropped him off in the hospital and said, "All right, have fun," and then left. So maybe he doesn't know. But you got to think, a lot of the people that that the campus killer killed were probably friends of Darren's.
Yeah.
So-
No, that's it.
So I don't know.
Ty, you cracked it.
I don't know.
Because I was looking at his hair too, and it looks like Darren's hair.
Right.
And they kept showing him. They kept going back to him. So I felt like I was ready for like a mask reveal at least.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
No, I even
I
thought it
didn't pick that
was.
up.
I even thought it was Andy at one point. I was going crazy.
Oh,
I know
interesting.
I know he's dead.
Because we saw that his
dead.
we saw that his body was moved.
Yeah.
No, I
Right.
can see that. Weirder things have happened.
It has to be someone we've seen before.
Right. And so I'll have to go back and see like if that character is like favoring his arm or if there's a cast or something like that.
Oh my God.
Who knows? Let us know in the
good.
chat. Let us know in your comments. That was my prediction. I was itching to get that one out there.
I'm glad.
But please let us know your predictions. That's honestly one of our favorite parts of all of this. The wilder, the better. I mean, I am always here for out there fan theories. Like we always say, hit us up on YouTube. Leave us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment on iTunes. Download, comment, review, subscribe, rate 5 stars if you're nasty. All of that. We love talking The Purge. We've only got one more episode to do it, but we want to do it together as a family. We want to purge and purify as a family. But we'll be back here one last time, same channel, same time next week. Guys, where can they find you?
Hey guys, this is Ollie Jordan. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer, and check me out in a couple minutes on Total Divas After Show.
Dope. Hey guys, I'm Jamie. You can find me on Twitter at It's Jamie Gray or on Instagram. I'm on there a lot more at Jamie Gray. JAIMIGRAY.
I like that. I like that little tune.
Jingle.
Guys, as always, you can find me on all forms of social media at Ty Matthews PMA, as well as on the X-Pac 12360 podcast. X-Pac was just announced as going into the WWE Hall of Fame for a second time back to back. We talked about all of that and more in today's episode, so check that out. And yeah, that's it. That'll be next week. Will be the finale for both this and that show for this year. But here's hoping we get a season 3.
Absolutely.
So guys, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on Instagram, all that good stuff. Join us next week where we'll be talking about the finale. But until then, stay safe.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.